The unexpected encounter. Everything stopped the moment she walked into the room. The air was thick with anticipation, and the atmosphere seemed to hum as she moved. Her hair was the color of autumn leaves, cascading down her back like a shimmering waterfall. Her emerald eyes met mine, and I felt an inexplicable pull toward her. "Who's that?" I asked my friend Jamie, curious about the enchanting stranger who had captivated my attention. They replied with a smile, telling me her name was Alicia, and that she had just moved to town from the city. It turned out we shared common interests. She adored dogs and lived for music, just like I did. Summoning all my courage, I approached her, hoping I wouldn't embarrass myself. "Hi," I said, breaking the ice. "I'm Siobhan, but everyone calls me Vani. I heard you're new here. How are you finding it?" "Hi, Vani," she replied. "I'm Alicia, but you can call me Ollie. I am new, and while I'm getting used to it, I do miss the vibrancy of the city. But it's nice to meet someone like you. Pretty girls definitely help." Flushing slightly, I felt an electric connection forming. "I know this is a bit forward since we just met, but I feel something. I mean, that we should hang out. What do you say to coffee sometime?" "I would love that," she exclaimed, her eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. "How about coming to my place? I have a fantastic espresso machine. It might just convert you into a coffee snob too." "That sounds perfect. I'll just go grab my bag from Jamie," I said, still buzzing with excitement. "Sure. Let's go," she replied eagerly. When I reached Jamie, I couldn't contain my excitement. "Dude, she just invited me to her place for coffee." I asked her for coffee, and she was like, "Come to my place." Sounds like you're in luck. "Just be your charming self, and you'll do great, trust me," Jamie encouraged. With a sense of elation, Ollie and I made our way to her apartment. The walk was filled with lively conversation, everything from favorite bands to cherished books. To my delight, her favorite book turned out to be White Oleander by Janet Fitch, which was also in my top 3. Before I knew it, we arrived, and as she brewed me the best latte I had ever tasted, I felt truly at ease. We found ourselves in her cozy kitchen, basking in each other's company. Flowers sat on the counter, and the sound of her laughter warmed the air between us. We spoke about everything, our pasts, our dreams, and the little intricacies that make life special. Each shared story deepened the bond one felt with her. As we sat sipping our drinks, a comfortable silence enveloped us, punctuated only by the soft music in the background. I noticed the way she tucked a strand of hair behind her ear, the way she smiled at me without hesitation. "You have an incredible energy," Ollie said, her gaze steady and sincere. "Thank you," I replied, feeling my cheeks grow warm. "I feel the same about you. It's refreshing to meet someone who gets me." As the evening wore on, it was clear that our connection was genuine. We leaned closer over our drinks, sharing quiet laughter and lingering glances, as if the world outside had faded away. There was no need to rush, our mutual understanding felt like a comforting blanket around us. The night wore on, our conversations flowing effortlessly, each moment more cherished than the last. I knew that meeting Alicia was not just an unexpected encounter but the beginning of something beautiful. "Do you want to do this again?" I asked, the hope evident in my voice. "Absolutely," she replied, her smile brightening the dim light of the room. "This is just the beginning, Vani." We exchanged numbers, promising to meet again soon, and as I left her apartment, I felt a lightness in my heart. Despite the uncertainty of what lay ahead, I knew one thing for certain: I didn't just meet a new friend that night, I found a kindred spirit. The following days felt different. My routine, once mundane, was now punctuated by anticipation. Every little thing reminded me of Alicia: songs that played on the radio, the scent of fresh coffee, even the sight of a dog passing by made my heart flutter with memories of our conversations. After a few days, I mustered the courage to text her. "Hey Ollie. How about that coffee we talked about? I know a great cafe that just opened up around the corner." The excitement bubbled within me as I hit send, nervously biting my lower lip while I waited for her reply. To my delight, it didn't take long. I would love that. How about Saturday at 10? I could practically feel her enthusiasm radiating through the screen, making my heart race. On Saturday morning, I chose my outfit carefully, something casual yet flattering. The moment I walked into the cafe, I spotted her sitting at a cozy corner table, completely engrossed in a book. She looked up as I approached, and her face broke into a radiant smile that lit up the entire room. "Hey, you! You made it," she said, her excitement infectious as she put down the book. I took a seat across from her, noticing the colorful cover of the novel she had been reading. I couldn't resist a chance to enjoy some good coffee with the most interesting girl in town, I replied, grinning. We ordered our coffees, hers, a complicated blend with flair and mine a simple latte, and settled into easy conversation. We spoke about our favorite authors, shared stories about growing up, and laughed over our mutual awkward childhood experiences. The more we talked, the clearer it became that our connection was special. With each shared laugh, I felt the walls I had built around my heart lower just a little more. After our coffees, Alicia suggested a stroll through the nearby park. The sun was shining brightly, and the crisp fall air was invigorating. As we walked, the leaves crunched beneath our feet, and I caught glimpses of Alicia stealing glances at me when she thought I wasn't looking. Each glance sent butterflies swirling in my stomach. "This place is beautiful," Alicia remarked as we wandered past the vibrant foliage. "I didn't appreciate places like this until I moved here. Sometimes the city feels like it's moving too fast." "I get that," I replied. "There's something peaceful about nature, isn't there? It's like a breath of fresh air from all the chaos." We shared our thoughts on life and change, weaving personal anecdotes into the conversation, creating a tapestry of shared experiences that brought us closer. I felt like I was discovering pieces of myself in her stories. As we made our way past a small pond, ducks quacked as they paddled through the water. Alicia stopped, laughing as one particularly bold duck waddled toward us. "Look at him. He's so confident," she said, amused. I joined her laughter, and in that moment, I realized how easily I could be myself around her. "Maybe he's just trying to put on a show," I joked, "to impress a lovely lady like you." She turned her head slightly, a playful smile dancing on her lips. "Well, if he's trying to impress me, he better bring his A game." As the sun began to set, casting a golden hue over the park, we found a bench to sit and enjoy the scenery. I could feel the weight of the world lifting off my shoulders, replaced by a sense of belonging that I hadn't felt in a long time. "So, tell me about your favorite bands," Alicia said, leaning toward me with genuine curiosity. I could see her excitement as I listed off my favorites, and she chimed in with her own. Before long, we were laughing about concert experiences, sharing our dream lineups, and planning hypothetical road trips to see our favorite artists. "I've always wanted to go to a music festival," she said. "There's something about being surrounded by people who share the same love for music. It feels liberating." "I'd love to go with you," I replied, feeling the warmth of her presence envelop me. "It sounds like a perfect adventure." As the sky turned shades of pink and orange, the conversation naturally shifted to our aspirations. Alicia spoke about her dreams of living in a bustling city again, of wanting to create a life filled with art and connection. "It terrifies me, though," she confessed. "What if I never find that?" "You will," I reassured her, my voice steady. "You have a light that draws people in. Just stay true to yourself, and everything will fall into place." Silence enveloped us for a moment as the last rays of sunlight faded behind the trees. I felt a sudden urge to reach for her hand, to reaffirm our connection. I turned to look at her, and in that moment, I noticed the way her eyes glimmered with hope and possibility. "Can I tell you something?" I began, feeling a rush of vulnerability. "Of course," she replied, her gaze unwavering. "I think we have something really special here," I said softly. "I don't want to just be friends. I want to see where this goes, if you feel the same way." Ollie paused, her expression unreadable for a heartbeat that felt like a lifetime. Then, she smiled, a warm, genuine smile that made my heart leap. I feel it too, Vani. I've never clicked with anyone like this before, she admitted, her voice barely above a whisper. I would love to explore this with you. With a mix of relief and joy, I took her hand in mine, and it felt like everything was right in the world. The park, the fading light, the laughter we shared, it all came together to create this perfect moment. Let's take our time with this, I said gently. I'm looking forward to our adventures together. Me too, Alicia replied, her fingers entwined with mine, a comforting warmth that promised countless possibilities. As we sat there, hand in hand, it dawned on me that this was just the beginning. Whatever adventures awaited us, a music festival, quiet evenings filled with laughter, or long walks in the park, each moment would be a chapter of our own story, filled with discovery, laughter, and the beauty of genuine connection. The weeks slipped by like the leaves shifting colors outside, and every moment spent with Alicia was a page in our unfolding story. Our coffee meetups turned into long hikes through the park, impromptu dinners in each other's kitchens, and cozy movie nights wrapped in blankets. Each time we explored a new facet of each other, it felt like opening a gift I never knew I needed. One crisp autumn afternoon, we visited a local farmer's market. Vibrant stalls filled with fresh produce, handmade goods, and the most delightful smells surrounded us. Alicia was drawn to a stall overflowing with colorful flowers, her eyes lighting up as she picked up a bouquet of sunflowers and daisies. Look at these. Aren't they beautiful? She exclaimed, her excitement contagious. I watched her, my heart swelling with affection. I loved how the simplest pleasures could bring her so much joy. They are stunning. You should get them, I encouraged, smiling as she handed a few dollars to the vendor. Only if you promise to help me arrange them in a vase later, she said, a playful glint in her eye. Deal. I laughed, and just like that, an ordinary Saturday was transformed into a treasured memory. As we strolled through the market, picking out fresh produce and sampling local treats, I felt a sense of contentment wash over me. I knew that this was a special bond we were building, one rooted in genuine connection and shared experiences. By the time we made our way back to her apartment, our arms filled with bags of groceries and flowers, I felt the afternoon warmth giving way to a cool evening breeze. Alicia placed the flowers in a vase while I prepped ingredients for dinner. We worked side by side, our laughter mingling with the evening air, and every glance shared made my heart race. After dinner, we settled on the couch, the remnants of our meal still lingering in the air. I looked over to see her absorbed in her book again, wearing a contented smile. Hey, do you ever think about the future? I asked, breaking the peaceful silence. Alicia looked up, thoughtful. All the time. It's a bit daunting, honestly. She ran her fingers absently over the book cover. What about you? I do, I replied, taking a deep breath. But lately, it feels less scary. Especially with you. Her eyes widened slightly, and she set her book down. Really? Why's that? Because I think we make a great team. I feel comfortable with you, like I can be totally myself without pretending. I want you in my future, Ollie. The room fell silent as my words hung in the air between us. I watched her, anxiety building as I searched for her reaction. I feel the same way, Vani, she finally said, her voice steady. I've never felt this with anyone before. It's like you see me, and I can't help but want to share my life with you. The warmth that spread through me as she spoke wrapped around my heart like a warm embrace. I reached for her hand, taking a moment to admire the way our fingers intertwined effortlessly. Let's continue this journey together, no matter where it leads, I said, unable to suppress the smile that spread across my face. Absolutely, she replied, her eyes shining like the stars. That night, we spent hours talking about dreams, aspirations, and everything in between. We shared our fears but also our hopes for a future filled with love and adventure, taking turns voicing what we wanted out of life. As we lay on the couch, her head resting on my shoulder, the warmth of her presence filled the room. And as I looked out the window, a soft glow from the street lamps illuminated the darkness outside. I felt an overwhelming sense of direction. I knew, in my heart, I wanted to explore the world with her. As the months turned into winter and the world around us blanketed under a layer of soft snow, our relationship continued to deepen. We embraced each season that passed, celebrating every milestone, and finding warmth in the coldest days. Alicia introduced me to her friends, and we found ourselves building a community around us, one that celebrated love in all its forms. On the night of our 6-month anniversary, we planned a special outing, a surprise for Alicia, who unknowingly meant more to me than words could ever convey. I took her to our favorite park, now transformed under a shimmering layer of snow, twinkling lights strung through the trees. As she looked around in awe, I felt my heart race. "I have something for you," I said, reaching into my pocket and pulling out a simple silver necklace with a small heart pendant. Her eyes lit up as I slipped it around her neck. "Oh, it's beautiful. It's a symbol of everything we've built together," I said softly. "You've brought so much light into my life, and I want you to carry a piece of that with you always." She turned around, tears brimming in her eyes. "I can't believe how lucky I am to have you. This means the world to me." We embraced under the stars, the world around us fading into nothing. In that moment, nothing else mattered but us. The future was still uncertain, but as we stood together, hand in hand amidst the winter wonderland, I knew in my heart that I wanted to tackle every challenge and every joy with her by my side. Our love was not just a beautiful moment, it was the beginning of a journey, one filled with laughter, shared dreams, and a promise to navigate whatever life threw our way together. As the snow continued to fall gently around us, I leaned down and whispered, "Here's to us, Ollie. To all the adventures and memories yet to come." And with a smile as bright as the stars above us, we walked forward into the beautiful unknown, our hearts intertwined and ready for all the chapters that still awaited us.